Not caring what people think is a result of detaching from outcomes, not the other way around. We don't detach from outcomes because we tell ourselves relentlessly that we don't care what people think, because as human beings, we do care what people think, and it's subconscious for a lot of people. And for others, it's a genuine need to know what people are thinking about us at all times, and that's where we need to detach. Detachment is not cold, it's not mean, it's not callous, it's just realizing that we shouldn't need validation from external sources and from the outcome of, someone else's attitude or actions. It's much more relaxed than I just don't care. It's more, I know that I can trust myself, and therefore I don't need validation from external sources because I can trust myself. And I cannot control other people. Other people can very rarely be controlled in what they do. You might feel that way because you're easily controlled. This was definitely me. I was very easily controlled when I was really, really in the depths of like my anxious attachment. I could easily be swayed because I didn't know who I was. And I was constantly seeking everyone else's approval and never my own. And I never trusted myself. So I could be swayed. So in my head, I was thinking maybe other people are easily swayed too, and that's the game. That's what we're all doing in life. No, it's not. You just need to learn detachment so that you can not be easily swayed by people. You can know yourself and feel better and live a better life. And in doing that, you are then going to ultimately not care what people think to a degree. Because, like I said, subconsciously, you will still care to a degree. We all need that, we all have that question in our head. Even if we don't bring it to the forefront of our mind, it's still there. Do they like me? Yes or no? It's just most people, well, not most people, some people can detach from the answer. They can go, oh, that person doesn't like me. I can clearly see that. And this is a very common thing in a social situation for people who are very emotionally stable, I suppose. Like they're securely attached. They're detached from situations and they're securely attached in themselves. In these social situations, they can read when people don't like them, right? And this is why they're so good at socializing, is because that answer of no, they don't like me does not sway them. They stay themselves through and through, and they never falter. They do not stop being themselves just because they think that this person doesn't like them. And that is what we're talking about when we say we don't care. We still ask the question, we still guess the answer, but ultimately it doesn't matter because we know that that has absolutely no bearing on how good we are as a person. Take me, for example. I used to be very, very, very dramatic in terms of attachment and stuff like that. I would literally crave people's validation. It was mostly from women. That's to do with my trauma from when I was younger. I just feel I had a lot of sort of trauma with women and them liking me, not liking me. And so I always used to crave validation from other women. And if they didn't like me or I sensed they didn't like me, I would literally make a whole persona up just so they would like me. So I, in essence, was trying to literally build this fake friendship, this fake relationship with someone who I would never actually get along with. I was just collecting relationships because it made me feel better. That's it. Absolutely no real benefit to me whatsoever. That is so damaging. And not only was I dealing with the anxiety of, wanting to be validated, but also a very real phenomenon, a very real psychological phenomenon that is also in play here is intolerance of uncertainty, which is literally where your brain tries to fill in, tries to bridge the gap between you not knowing how somebody feels about you and you having the answer. And your brain goes to all the negative places because that is what you do all the time. You just think about negative things and crave negativity without even realizing it, and you always think negative about yourself. So your brain is bridging that gap with negativity, and it's saying, do they like me? No, they don't like me. Obviously, of course they don't like me. And that is the phenomenon of intolerance of uncertainty. You cannot live with uncertainty. Your brain then turns it into this big ball of negativity, and that is how you progress in your friendship, relationship, whatever you want to call it. That is so unhealthy. And once you start to acknowledge that that's what's happening, you can try and get over that and make it better for yourself. So, how do you really detach from outcomes? How do you really detach from expecting certain outcomes? The more you try to control an outcome, it's really important that you remember this whenever you sense yourself going into this. The more you try to control an outcome that somebody else has to give you, so the outcome of somebody else's actions, the less authentic you become. The less authentic you become, literally, the more people will try and stay away from you. Literally, the more people will dislike you, because people aren't daft, people sense inauthenticity. They sense it straight away. If you're not authentic, someone will sense that, and instantly they're put off by you, because nobody wants to be around somebody who is always people pleasing, who is always striving to get your attention for some reason or another. Nobody wants to be around that energy. It just doesn't work. It never works. It's never ever going to stick. So just remember, whenever you're trying to gain validation from someone, they can definitely sense that. And that is going to push that person away. So you are not doing anything helpful for you or for that person at all. And so this is where the not caring part comes in. Subconsciously, you will ask yourself, if you're being authentic, like me, I'm super bubbly, super social, very loud, my laugh is ridiculous. That's who I am though. That's who I am, and I'll be authentic around all my friends, the people that really, really actually care for me and love me, and we get on so well. That's how I am. If people don't like me, that's fine, because I know that I'm being my authentic self, and that person just isn't meant for me. And I know that this intolerance of control is coming into play. I'm happy with who I am. I trust myself. I'm being authentic. I'm confident. That's it. That's how I would deal with that situation. Nothing more, nothing less. Just be you, and know that if you're inauthentic, people spot it from a mile away. And you're never going to gain any kind of relationship or friendship in that way, ever. You don't need everyone to like you. That's not how the world works. It just isn't. And once you start detaching from that and thinking in that way, you are genuinely going to say to yourself in your head, do they like me? No, that's okay. Instead of, do they like me? No. Oh my God, what can I do to fix that? I need to fix it. I need to control the situation. Oh my God, help. No, you're going to think it doesn't matter, because I am me, and that is all I can be, and I can't control anybody else. And we just aren't meant to be connected. And that's fine. You don't have to be connected with everyone, okay? Not at all. Thank you so much, as always, for listening to me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!